So, guys, from starting from here, the main Bhagavad Gita will start, and all the characters are not included. Only Krishna and Arjuna will be the part of the conversation, and maybe some dialogues of Sanjay, who was like a TV commentator for Dhritarashtra, the blind king. So the main Bhagavad Gita, which many commentators have started from this one, are like Adi Shankaracharya, and that's considered as the the primal person who started Bhagavad Gita again. Like he is was a 12th century saint. So he is actually more into Gyan Yoga, but basically Gita will tell you the two more concepts, Bhakti Yoga and Karam Sannyas Yoga. So, but depending upon the person's personality, so they explain Gita in different way. So that's why his explanations might be different than my explanations, because I am considering all three equally good for different people upon depending upon their nature. So depending upon your nature, so you can adopt to different kind of perspective, like which one suits you better. So basically there are three, like Krishna has all three, and even I have three, but I told you I have flaws, like I have many flaws inside me. So let's continue with the main Bhagavad Gita from here.
तमुवाच ऋषिकेशः प्रहसन्निव भारत सेनयोरुभयोर्मध्ये विषीदन्तमिदं वचः.
Rishikesh then, O Bharat, Dhritarashtra, with a smile as it appeared, spoke thus to him Arjun, who sat mournfully between the two armies. Krishna, knower of secrets of the innermost heart, Rishikesh, speaks smilingly to the grieving Arjun.
अशोचानन्वशोचस्त्वं प्रज्ञावादांश्च भाष्यसे गतासु न गतासूंश्च नानुशोचन्ति पंडिताः.
The Lord said, although sorrowing over those who ought not to be grieved for, you yet speak wise words. But the discriminating mourn over neither the living nor those who are dead. Krishna tells Arjuna that while he grieves for those who are unworthy of such grief, he also speaks words of wisdom. But men of discernment mourn neither for those whose souls have departed, nor for the ones who are living. They do not grieve for the living, because they also shall die. That means that Arjuna only talks like a wise man. He does not know the reality, since
नत्वेवाहं जातुनासं न त्वन्नेमे जनाधिपाः न चैव न भविष्यामः सर्वे वयमतः परम्.
it is not that either you or I or all these kings did not exist in the past, nor is it that our being will come to an end in the future. It is not, Krishna explains, that he, the accomplished teacher, or Arjuna, the devoted pupil, or all these kings with the vanity that is characteristic of rulers of men, did not exist at any time in the past ages, nor is it that they will cease to be in the ages to come. The accomplished teacher is forever, and so are affectionate disciples, as well as rulers who symbolize the perversions of passion and moral blindness. Here, besides throwing light on the permanence of yoga in general, Yogeshwar Krishna has particularly stressed its existence in the future. Explaining why the dead should not be mourned over, he says,
Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara tatha dehantara prapti dhirastatra namuhyati.
Since the embodied spirit passes through infancy, youth, and old age in the body, and then transmigrates into another body, men with steadfast minds do not grieve over his passing away. As the embodied soul waxes from childhood to youth, then wanes to old age and assumes one new body after another, wise men are not prey to infatuation. At some time, a man is a boy, and then he grows into a young man. But does he die by this? Then he grows old. The self is ever the same. Only the condition of the physical body in which he resides goes on changing. There is no crack in him when he changes over to a new body. This change from one physical body to another will continue until the soul is united with the Supreme Spirit, who alone is beyond all change.
Matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkhada agama payino nitya tam stitikshasva bharata.
There are sensations of heat and cold, and of pain and pleasure, O son of Kunti, as senses meet their objects. Bear them patiently, O Bharat, because they have a beginning and an end, and are transient. The contact of senses and their objects, which generates pleasure and pain, and feelings of cold and warmth, is occasional and momentary. Arjuna should therefore abandon them. But instead of that, he is shaken by the mere thought of pleasures that are derived from the union of senses and their objects. The family for the sake of whom we yearn for pleasures and the teacher whom we revere both represent the attachment of senses. But the causes of this attachment are momentary, false, and perishable. Neither shall our senses always meet with objects they enjoy, nor shall they always be capable of enjoyment. So Arjuna is counseled to give up sensual pleasures and learn to withstand the demands of his senses. But why is Arjuna counseled thus? Is it a Himalayan war in which he has to endure cold? Or is it a desert war in which he has to suffer heat? As knowledgeable people say, the actual Kurukshetra has a moderate climate. During the mere 18 days that is the total duration of the Mahabharata war, is it possible that seasons will change, that winter and summer will come and go? The truth is that endurance of cold and heat, of happiness and sorrow, of honor and dishonor, depends upon the seeker's spiritual endeavor. The Gita is, as we have seen more than once, an externalization of the inner conflict that rages within the mind. This war is the war between the gross physical body and the self, which is aware of his identity with God. It is a conflict in which ultimately even the forces of divinity grow inert, after they have subdued unrighteous impulses and enabled the self to become one with God. When there remains no impiety, what else is there for pious impulses to fight? The Gita is thus a picturization of inner conflict that rages within the mind. What advantages, however, will the recommended sacrifice of senses and their pleasures bring? What is gained by this? Krishna speaks of this.
Yam hi na vyathayante te purusham purusharshava samadukha sukham dhiram somritatvaya kalpate.
So, O the noblest of men, Arjuna, one who is possessed of equanimity in pain and pleasure, and firm and untormented by these feelings produced by the meeting of senses with their objects, deserves to taste the nectar of immortality. The steadfast man, who regards sorrow and happiness with equipoise, and is not troubled by his senses and their association with objects, is worthy of the state of immortality that realization of the Supreme Spirit brings. Here, Krishna refers to an attainment, namely Amrit, literally, the drink of immortality. Arjuna had thought that in return for the war, he would be rewarded with either a heavenly abode or the authority to rule over the earth. But now Krishna tells him that his prize will be Amrit, rather than the pleasures of heaven or earthly power. What is this Amrit?
Nasato vidyate bhavo na bhavo vidyate satah ubhayorapi drishtontah tvanayostatvadarshibhi.
The unreal has no being, and the real has no non-being, and the truth about both has also been seen by men who know the reality. The unreal has no existence, it has no being, and so bringing it to an end is out of the question. On the other hand, there is no absence of the real in all time, past, present, or future. Arjuna then asks Krishna whether he is saying this as an incarnation of God. Krishna's reply to this is that the distinction between the real and the unreal has also been revealed to sages who have realized the true nature of the human soul as identical with the Supreme Spirit pervading the universe. That is to say, that Krishna of the Gita is a seer who has gained an insight into reality. What, after all, are true and false, real and unreal?
Avinashi tu tadvidhi yena sarvamidam tatam vinashamavyayasyasya na kaschit kartumarhati.
Know that since the Spirit which pervades the universe is imperishable and immutable, no one can effect his destruction. That which spreads through and is present in every atom of the universe is indestructible. No one is capable of destroying the imperishable principle. But what is the